New Jersey FFA members, Jamie here. I'm back and I'm going to be filming another video about the Day in the Life of a State Officer series. So last weekend I posted one about LEAD and all of that conference and everything that state officers have to do for that. I wanted to get that video up before LEAD actually happened so that those of us who attended could actually see how the state officers were facilitating and the content that we got across and flag raising, reflections, etc. so that people could pay attention to that. And I got a lot of good feedback on that video actually. And this video is going to be just about basic what it looks like to be a state officer, how many times am I going to have to come to meetings, and where am I going to have to go. So I'm going to cover all of that in this video. I've upgraded my quality. I'm currently in a hotel room, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But the first thing that I want to touch on is meetings. So I touched on this a little bit in the LEAD video, but I wanted to save that for this video. Sorry that my phone is here. I have it because I ordered some food, so I'm just going to wait for some updates when my food is going to be here. Anyway, so once you get elected to state office, you will have to attend state meetings. And we hold a state meeting the first Monday of every month, unless there is a holiday, then we'll do the second. And these meetings are at the New Jersey Department of Agriculture at 4 p.m. Officers are in official dress, we do opening ceremonies, all official business, and then usually the team goes out to dinner after those meetings. The third Monday of the month is our work session. So at these meetings, they are the same thing. You're at the New Jersey Department of Agriculture at 4 p.m., but this time we get to our business casual, and it's more of a laid-back meeting. No official business happens, it's just a lot of getting things done and preparing for events that are coming up. These meetings can kind of fluctuate in length depending on what's coming up and when the meetings are. But those are the two primary meetings that we will have a month. Every state officer, for the most part, has a board that they're assigned to. So this could be the Ag Society, this could be the Equine Advisory Board. There's a lot of different boards that New Jersey FFA state officers sit on. And 5 out of the 7 will get assigned to a board, and then you'll have to attend extra meetings for that. So I am on the New Jersey FFA Foundation Board, and they meet at the New Jersey Department of Ag on a Tuesday four times a year at 6 p.m. So I'll go to the department when those meetings are happening, and then you'll just keep up with the board that you're on, and then they'll tell you when and where meetings are, and you'll just go and give a report about what New Jersey FFA is doing currently, and then at our state meetings you will give a report about what that board is currently doing. We also have committees that we sit on, so there's 7 committees at the state level, so each state officer is assigned to a committee. So you will be a committee chair for one committee, you'll be a committee vice chair for another committee, and then you will be a committee member on about 2 committees. This can fluctuate depending on executive committee members that you will have. But yeah, so you'll be technically on 4 committees, but you'll chair one of them, and you are in charge of everything that happens for that committee. So both last year and this year, I am a chair of the Hort Expo committee, so the horticultural exposition that happens in March. I go through the rules list and all the classes, and I can create new ones, I can get rid of some old ones, and I'll work together with my committee to do this. And then we'll bring those ideas to state meetings, and then that's where all of the official business will happen, and then they'll get implemented at their respective events or whatever that committee might be overseeing. We also have trainings. So the summer is the biggest point for training as a state officer, just so that when fall comes around and when chapters and schools are back in session, we are prepared, we're ready to do chapter visits and LEAD and CDEs and so forth. So as soon as you get elected, about a weekend or 2 after, you'll have state officer leadership training. So past state officers and alumni will come in and they'll just facilitate basic things that you need to know as a state officer. You will have base camp and Checkpoint and Summit over the summer as well. So base camp is just a lot of figuring out who you are and who you are as a leader and what you want to become. State Officer Summit is a lot about advocacy, and you'll get to go to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. and actually advocate to legislators and senators and so forth, which is really awesome, and you are with state officers from every state, so you meet a lot of people. And then Checkpoint 1 is where you will learn to facilitate and write workshops. And then at that conference, like I said in my past video, you'll get your lead material, and then you'll start memorizing that from that point on. In the fall, in November-ish, we have Checkpoint 2. And this is where we learn how to write and deliver speeches. So just like workshops with facilitation, it's basically the same thing. We'll just learn how to write and deliver a speech. In February, during FFA week, it's not a training, but it is a time where the team gets together. We go on the Fuel Up retreat. So we will go down to usually Cape May. We'll be in a little house together for a weekend, and we will completely write and plan state convention. So we'll think about speakers that we want. We will write the intros, and everything that you see state officers say at state convention will get written at this retreat in February. And then from there on out, it'll get like tweaked and so forth, but the bulk of it happens during that weekend, and then from there on to May, we are just memorizing stuff for state convention. What else is there to talk about? Some things that you can do after state office is executive committee. So a lot of members might see executive committee members, not this year because we don't have an executive committee, but in years past you might have seen this. So like last year we had Kelsey Stockton and Renee Stillwell. And what they are is past state officers. The year after you serve as a state officer, you have the option to run for executive committee or not. And if you are executive committee, then you will help out facilitate SGC at LEAD, you will help out at CDEs, and you'll be at meetings, at state meetings, to facilitate a executive committee little report, which will be just a little bit of a workshop. And they'll help out with state officer trainings in the summer as well. And this is optional if you would like to help out the state officers after your service as a state officer is up. Not everyone has to do it. It's great if you do, and it's okay if you don't. We also have the alumni that you can join as well, and you don't have to be a state officer to join the state alumni. If your FFA chapter does not have an alumni chapter and you want to get involved, then please, please, please get in contact with the state alumni board member. You can get in contact with the state officers, and we will know exactly where to direct you. If your chapter does have an alumni chapter, please join in with them, and you can also join the state as well. And it'd be great for you to communicate maybe what your alumni chapter is doing as well as what the state alumni is doing to your own chapter. This is a lot of information, and this video is already really long. There's a lot of things that I could go into. I'm just going to touch on like a little bit more of events that we do throughout the year, and then I will have another video for you guys within the next week or two. So other events that we are required to go to throughout the year, we will have CDEs. So we have summer CDEs, which we don't need all 7 state officers at. There's only 2 summer CDEs, tractor driving and dairy handlers. So state officers will go to those. We have fall CDEs and spring CDEs, which are required for state officers. So we'll go out and we'll help at those events. There's also like horse judging that happens. There's a few different little CDEs here and there that happen not at Rutgers with the state. So we might work with 4-H or other organizations for those to happen. We also have chapter visits. So that kind of explains why I'm in a hotel. I have a chapter visit tomorrow morning, or tomorrow I guess, at Essex. And if you're not really sure where Essex is, it's up by Newark and like the Newark airport, which is very trafficy, especially at rush hour in the morning. And it's over an hour away from my house, and I didn't really feel like driving in the traffic tomorrow morning and being stressed out that morning. So we had a state meeting today, and I left right after the state meeting, and I headed up here. I'm staying at a hotel about 15 minutes away from the chapter, so tomorrow morning I'll be able to wake up, get all myself together, and then head over there, basically stress-free, which is really nice. This is just an optional thing that I decided to do for myself. You don't have to stay in hotels for chapter visits. Most of the time you don't. Even if the chapter visit, a lot of chapter visits for myself last year were like an hour and a half away, but they weren't in such congested areas that I just left the morning of earlier and got there and was fine. But I just made the personal choice to come up here the night before and just get situated and be able to focus on my chapter visit tomorrow, which is really nice. I ordered food. I'm so excited for it to get here. But yeah, I'll focus on my chapter visit tomorrow. All state officers get 5 chapter visits as of right now. We have 35 chapters, and there's 7 state officers normally, so that means 5 per officer. We can gain or lose chapters, and then we can also lose state officers potentially too. It's not a common thing that happens, but sometimes it does happen, and people will have to pick up more chapter visits. So I do have 6 chapter visits going on this year. I finished 1 in September. I have 1 tomorrow, so I'll have 4 more left, and I'm really excited about that. Some other events that we have is 212 and the TJAG event that happens in December at Rutgers. All state officers are required to go to that, and we have an option of facilitating at TJAG. If we don't want to do that, then we will be a participant in 212. We also have the New Jersey Farm Bureau Convention, and we have the New Jersey Ag Convention, where the state president gives a speech at both of those. And then the state officers are invited to join as well. They don't have to give speeches, but they can come out for a great event, meet some state people in agriculture, and just really get to mingle and interact with others as a state officer. We also have FFA Week activities. We will have Advocacy and Legislative Leadership Day, which every state officer is required to go to and facilitate. But then throughout that week, we'll get invited from chapters to go out to their school and just participate in some activities with them. We have State Officer Candidate School, which happens in January. So this is for potential SOX or NOMCOM candidates. And we'll go there and we'll facilitate what all of that looks like. We have ILSSO, if you're interested, the International Leadership Seminar for State Officers. So if you are interested in going on this trip, then you would apply and you would get accepted, and then you would have to fundraise to go on that trip. We also have banquets that we go to after state convention happens. So the retiring state officers are the ones who go to banquets that year. We're just trained in speech delivery. We have a banquet speech workshop in January. So there's a lot that goes into banquets with the past state officer team, if that makes sense. Then there's just some other little events here and there that we might get invited to throughout the year, but that is an overall gist of what the year might look like. I don't have like an exact number of days that you'll be spending with the state officer team, but that's a pretty good overview. We also have national convention and state convention that we're required to go to. Those are kind of a given, but other than that, everything else is just, it comes and goes, I guess. You take it as it is. You might get invites to places, you might not, and that's okay. But it's all an experience, it's all different every year, but hopefully that gave you an insight on what your year might look like and where you might have to travel throughout the year. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me, text me, whatever. If you have my phone number, please reach out. And then all of my social media is just at Jamie Specka, spelled exactly like this YouTube channel. So please just reach out to me, and I would love to get back to you guys. Thank you.